Hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? I'm Crafting with Kim, and I am really excited to be in the Thoughts to Treasures group today. Crafter's Choice event. Actually, this is the first time I've been in this event, and I'm meeting a lot of new crafters, which is great. And hopefully, they'll pop on and join me, and I'll have some new friends. But Miss Robin is finishing up right. Zimmy's Simply Design. She's finishing up right now, and I'll be get over in the group in a second. But come on in and say hello. And yeah, I'm happy to be here. And any of those that actually know me, know my setup, I'm actually in my home today. This is kind of an odd situation for me, but my studio getting you sprinkled. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. There I am. I see myself already. That was very fast, Miss Connie. Thank you so much. And Connie, I want to thank you again for having me in the group. Like I said, this is my first time with you guys, and hope to do you proud. But I'm enjoying watching all the other crafters, and I've been, watching the chats and whatnot. So it's my time. All right, great. So like I said, I'm usually in my studio, but there was a forecast of rain today, and my studio has a tin roof. It's not insulated, so it's very, very noisy. And the last couple of times I've gone live, it's been very embarrassing, and it's crazy noise. So I came in and set up in my table, so it's a little bit out of my element as far as what I'm used to, but and it's a little bit smaller spot, but I'll make it work, and we'll get it. We'll get through it. So I am appreciating everybody coming in and saying hello. Hi, I'm new. I'm going to do a wonderful job. I'm from California. Yeah, good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I used to live in Cali. I lived on the West Coast. I'm in Florida now. Happy Wednesday to you too, Connie. Okay, so for those of you, like I said, if you're very familiar with this group and you follow all the crafters in here, this is the first time for me, and you might not know what I do. I primarily work with clay. I work with generally polymer or air dry clay, and I do have a private clay class that you can join and learn and be active in that and learn how to do some of the stuff. But today I have an hour. Connie, this is great to have an hour because normally I don't have that much time to do that. So it's going to give me a little extra, space to relax a little bit and do what I got to do. But I will be showing you, I'll be working with polymer clay today. Hey, Diane, how's it going? Okay, so like I said, Crafting with Kim, if you're not familiar, if you're watching me, and the little red live button is up there. If that, of course, I'm live after the fact. If you put hashtag replay in there in the comments, I really appreciate that, and tell me where you're from. Hey, Rose, how are you? It's good to see you. Morgan, hey, people, come on in, say hello. Like I said, I'm just kind of waiting. I guess Robin is finished up. So, all right. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, I have an hour, but hey, Morgan, how's it going? Oh, there's Lisa. Hey, Miss Lisa, how are you? Who else we got here? Susie Q. All right. I've been seeing you guys in the other crafters, so now it's you can see me. Okay. What I do here though is I have two cameras set up, and I normally switch my cameras down to my table because I work with clay, and I just think it's a better perspective for you to see the close-up work. Hey, Victoria, how are you, darling? So I'm going to be doing that today. Like I said, it's going to be a different setup than I normally do, but you guys probably wouldn't know the difference anyway. It's just that I do, because I'm not used to my spreading out space. Okay, let me tell you what I'm going to be doing today, though. So I've been wanting to do this for a while, and it's kind of like on a list. Do you crafters have a list of things you're going to do? Like I do that. I'm a planner. So I have like 4 or 5 different things. It's like, okay, if anybody throws anything at me, I can probably come up with this. I've got things kind of half done and, projects waiting in the wings. So this is a project that I had waiting in the wings for a while. Hey, Robin, how's it going, girl? And so it looks kind of funky like now, but you'll see how it's all coming together. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be, I need a clock. I need a clock in my living room area. And so I'm going to make this clock. I'm going to put this clock together, but I'm going to do it with wood and clay and all this kind of stuff. So basically what I'm doing, I bought one of these little clocks off Amazon. I just wanted the back to be like that, just a basic clock face, like this. It was like, I don't know, $6 or something like that, $5-6. And then I've got this little wood round. Now this looks really weird, but I had to do a lot of planning in this. Like I'm a planner, okay, when it comes to crafting. But it was one of those little Dollar Tree wood rounds, and I cut the center out. And the red was actually going to be something else that I was going to use it for, but I never did use it. So I'm going to be using it for this project here. So in doing this, a long list. I got a long list today. Long list of what, darling, Miss Lisa? Anyway, so what I did is I pre-painted, of course, these little wood pieces on the back here. This is going to act as my like separation from the wall and my hanger situation. The reason why is because when you inset, I'll show you how to do the hole in a second, but when you inset this clock into this hole, it sticks out the back. You know, the wood's kind of thin, and it's going to look like that, but it sticks out the back. So I needed some wood here that was wider than the clock, so that when I hang it on the wall, it won't, you know, it'll be sitting from the wall. And actually I think that's going to be kind of cool anyway. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some clay work on the front part of this, and you guys get to see how I work with the clay. Let's see. Oh, crafts too. Lisa wants to do me some. I'm a planner too. Love it. Yeah, I know. It's like I'm not by the fly by the seat of your pants kind of person when it comes to crafting, especially when I work with clay, because there's a lot of prep work involved. Well, sometimes a lot, sometimes not. All right, so anyway, like I said, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to take you down on my table now, and I'm going to show you about the clay part and how I'm going to put this together. Appreciate the hearts, guys. I really do love that. I love if you follow me. Like I said, I'm not one of those everyday crafters that gets a chance to come on live, but I try to do the best I can, and I know a lot of the other crafters too, and I love everybody. So appreciate you guys. By the way, just I don't want to get too far down the road. After me is my girl Lexi Creations, Andrina, and I'm sure she'll pop on here at some point. She's coming on after me, and if you guys don't know her, you must be living on a rock, because that girl's awesome and she does a lot of cool stuff. And looks like my husband's behind me. He's probably going to walk out of the room in a second. Sprinkled hearts and follows. Thank you, Miss Darla. Hi, Carolyn. Oh my gosh, I got all kinds of good girls on here. Thank you so much. All right, so like I said, now you're not going to see my face. You're going to see the table for a while. I wanted to let you know, though, like I said, there are some on here that have followed me and know what I do. At the end of every live event, I have my timer set on my phone. In the last 5 minutes, what I do is I do like a little giveaway tool. And it's a way for me to, I'll give you a hashtag word in the comments, and then I'll run this little tool that'll pick a winner, and I'll put you on a list for a $5 Amazon gift card at the end of the month. So at the end of each month, I send those out. So you might want to stick with me if you want a chance to win that Amazon gift card. All right, so let me go ahead and switch my camera over here. And like I said, I can still see you guys, and so please comment. And if you got any questions about clay as we go along, please don't hesitate. Hope my camera's set up pretty good. I'm a little bit, like I said, different angle than I normally have, but like I said, we'll make it work. Okay, live on notifications. I'm so excited to hear. Oh, well, thank you very much. Like I said, that's my jam, girl. I'm obsessed with working with clay. I've been a crafter and a teacher of arts and crafts forever and a day, 30 plus years. But polymer clay and just clay in general, I love building, I love sculpting. And the things that I'm developing working with the crafty groups, I'm learning that I can actually teach people how to use the clay with their own style of crafting. Like you can add to it, and that's what I teach you in my group. I teach you things that you can utilize with your other crafts, and the things like, see, if you decoupage, you can decoupage on this. You can make all kinds of things. Anyway, I digress. Let's keep going here. So what I got going on here, guys, in case you know, this is black clay. I'm actually using black clay. The brand that I like to use the most, simply because it's pretty decent and it's cost effective, is this one here. It's I get this at Michael's. I say it every time. This is my Michael's Craft Smart, and it comes in a brick like this. Okay, this is a 1 pound brick. These run about, with the coupon and everything, about $10, something like that. You get a lot of projects out of that. So it's it is a plastic based clay. It's a little sticky, and it manipulates. You know, it kind of flexible and turns and bends and stuff like that. Okay. Now, for the sake of time, like I said, I've got an hour. If I'd had my other space, I was actually going to take a little time today and cut some of the bricks and show you how I roll it out. But since I don't have that much space at this table, I don't, one of the other lives, I'll make sure and do that for you guys. Okay, so like I said, this is just my little extra piece here. These here are going to be, now you can see that this is like the shape of a petal. Okay, it's like a flower petal. So what I did is I pre-cut. I had to go ahead and do patterns for each one of these. I thought initially I'd just have one pattern for all 5 petals, but it turns out, believe it or not, these are not all the same size. You would think they would be, but I had to cut out a paper pattern for each one. And so that's why I had to kind of plan where everything's going to go and the coloring and all that. So like I said, what I'm doing here is I've got a couple of them that already got patterns, and I'm going to show you how I do all that. We're using, just like everybody who does all kinds of other type of craft work, stencils and punches and stamps and all that are great for working with the clay. Black Clay Michaels couldn't read what brand. Oh, I'm sorry. It's called Craftsmart, darling. Craftsmart. Craftsmart. Let me see if get the light out of there. My camera, I've got this really nice camera and it's autofocus and it drives me crazy. There we go. Craftsmart. All right. So yeah, and that's the one I like. I mean, you can get on Amazon, you can get on eBay. There's other polymer clays out there. Hobby Lobby carries it. I just find that to be, for what it is, for the price, it works pretty good. Of course, there's Sculpey. There's all kinds of brands, but I can't get into all that right now because that's the stuff you can learn if you decide to want to be in the group. Okay. Couldn't see it. Okay, so you guys got it. It's called Craftsmart. There you go. Thank you, Mayor. And they have several colors of it. You can get the little small bricks or you can get the bigger ones too. You have to bake it. It is a baked clay. This polymer clay is a baked clay. Okay, and yeah, so it gives the instructions on the back, but basically it's 275 in your oven. It says 15 minutes for every 1/4 inch of thickness of your clay, but I normally bake at least 30 minutes. It just makes it a little bit more durable. I think I've just gotten the habit of doing that. And yeah, so that's it. All right, so these pieces here, you can see I've rolled them out pretty thin. By the way, if anybody has ever seen anybody do fondant or you're familiar with fondant, I always say that this is sort of kind of like the feel of working with fondant in a way, because a lot of times if you're not building like a figurine, which I do figurines as well, then you're working with like these little slab pieces of these little veneer pieces or whatever. And so they're thinner. And I actually did this one on a pasta maker, but you can do it with roller. I've got like a little brayer roller here and I have a bigger roller, depending on your project. I mean, it really does vary. But as you can see, like I said, these are going to be flat, but I'm going to add a lot of elements onto them. Okay. So let me go ahead right now and I'm going to show you. Like I said, I've just already had my paper patterns cut out. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one out. But not actually, before I do it, I need to put my stencils on. Here's the deal. This clay, like I said, it's very soft, and any little thing, any little impression shows. So it's really good to, if you can remember, I don't always remember to do this. If you're going to put an image, by the way, I'm just using a lot of little Temu stencils. I mean, you know, you can use stencils of all sorts to give you an image. You can see here on these, I already pre-did a couple of them, and I'm going to be adding to these. You can see those right there. You definitely want to work on something, a surface like this too, a non-porous clay surface or a piece of glass or something that's hard, because you don't want your clay sticking. I didn't bring my cornstarch because I was in my shop. I forgot to bring, but I don't think I'll need it in here. Okay, so like I said, before you cut out anything, it's always best with polymer clay to roll your design on it, because your clay is going to shift a little bit. It's going to move and spread. It's not huge, but it always, you know, if you're trying to be real precise, it's better to do it that way. So in other words, before I cut this pattern out, this is kind of like a wood grain, and I'm just going to roll this on top of the clay. Okay. And depending on, obviously, like the thickness of your stencil, it gives an embossed feel to the clay, but depending on the thickness of your stencil will determine how raised it's going to be. Obviously, these are really thin stencils, so it's not going to be raised too much. Like I said, it's pretty darn sticky, guys. A way to keep it from being so sticky is to add the cornstarch to it, but I think I'll be able to get away with it this way. I'm used to working with it, but sometimes it will get sticky on your hands, especially if you're in a very hot environment, like a hot room. Okay, so I need to cut this, and please say that I can find my dang, easy enough. Oh, here we go. I'll move to the other side. I'm literally got chairs sitting next to me, guys. I have a very small little table here to work off of. All right, so what I'm going to do is just take an X-Acto knife. If you don't have one, you can actually use just a kitchen knife or something like that. But you want to keep it, you know, try to get it pretty precise. And then, like I said, after I cut these out, I start playing with them. Then I can, if anybody has any more questions, of course, keep your questions coming, and I'll go back. If I do miss comments, guys, I will go back like everybody else does. I always go back and look at my comments, and you know, I actually watch myself a lot of times because I like to see how goofy I am or what I do or mess up or anything like that. All right, so I just cut it out and get this little piece out of here. One thing's kind of nice about working with polymer clay is that there's no rush with it. Like, it doesn't dry on you, so it will get hard if you let it sit too long. It'll kind of get a little bit harder, and sometimes you have to call what's called reconditioning. But for the most part, I can actually roll this out, and I've been having these sit for like 3 or 4 days, these little pieces waiting for this project. So as opposed to air dry clay, you know, it's going to dry on you, so you have a certain working time with that. So I've got that one. And then for this one, I thought I would use this little pattern here. I'm just using a variety pattern. I like to mix things up. I'm kind of like a mixed media person. I'm kind of like a little bit of everything. I like I like farmhouse. I like modern. I like, you know, if you guys know, you can go look at some of my pieces and see they're a little bit of everything. It just depends on, like I said, with these themes, I kind of choose something that kind of goes with the theme and everything. But I'm just kind of, this is the first time I just got these little guys from Temu. These little borders are kind of nice, by the way. I got about 8 of these little border stencils. If you guys like doing stenciling, you might want to grab some of these. They're pretty cool. Now I'm going to be adding other things on there, but this is just my basic background for now on this one. All right, so now that I got this, and you might be asking why I use black. The reason I use, because, you know, it comes in white and gray, and I use all those colors and browns and whatnot. The reason I use black is because of the effect I want. It's kind of like, you know, you want that undertone. Who was on before me? And she was using the dark colors. I'm sorry, the gal that did the little scooper thing, she makes it dark. And so when you start with a black surface, whatever colors you put on top, it's going to create that darker kind of like richness. And that's kind of what I'm going for with this. All right, so thank you, Lisa. Lisa's actually bought a couple of my things at the auction before, and I love her. She's a sweetheart, and she's very supportive of me. Appreciate that. Okay, so now I've got these pieces. So what I'm going to do now is basically I'm just going to put them in place on here. I had the most hardest time trying to figure out what colors I wanted to go with on this thing, and I'm still not sure. But I think what I'm going to do is just do a color combination. All right, so, but I actually, because these were different sizes, it made it a little bit, I had to mark where I'm putting each one. So I actually kind of like had to put, like this one's for the plants. I have like a little leaf design over here. We'll put this one over here. Now you see this one, actually, when I pulled it up, you might not see that it had a little tear in it. I am not worried about that. This polymer clay is very forgiving. And actually I can piece that back together. And also because of the fact that I'm going to be adding some other elements on here, it's probably not going to show. If you are doing something really, really precise, like a piece of jewelry or something like that, and you need to be more uniform, then, you know, of course, you can use your fingers to kind of fix it back. They make all kinds of clay tools like these. These little silicone guys are wonderful for that. Okay, so you can use that. So right at this point, I'm just kind of putting all these in place. Then I'm going to work on my little funky pieces, and then I'm going to bake it. Believe it or not, I'm going to put this whole thing in the oven and bake it with this wood, just like this. All right, what do I got here? Which one is that? Pattern. That was my pattern one. Me and my little code words here. Everybody doing okay today? You guys enjoying these crafters? I'm like, you know, it's the last 2 times I went live, I just mentioned this in the beginning, I had rain. And if you go back and look at them, they're like, it's ridiculous. It's so rainy because it's so loud, because I get these tremendous thunderstorms on my tin roof. So I came in my house and it's much better. And I do hear the rain coming on. So which one was that one? That was the flowers. I can't even read my own handwriting. I got chicken scratch, guys, honestly. If I take my time, I can really write nice, but I am so fast at what I try to do everything, especially when it comes to writing. And it always looks like I have to be a doctor or something. That one says plain, but that was the deco one. Okay. You're learning so much. Well, I'm glad you are. That's the whole point of me doing this is, of course, I love to create, but I like people to learn, because a lot of people don't know about polymer clay, especially or any kind of clays. I start seeing a lot of more of the crafters utilizing the clay in their projects, and I'm loving that. I'm always like, yeah, that clay thing. Yeah, I love it. Okay, now this one's a little sticky. So here's how you do that. If I can find them too. I'm such a creature of habit. I'm used to having my tools on the other side, and I switched over. So I've got these little things. These are very, very fine. They call them tissue blades, okay? They're very fine. You can get a set of these off Amazon for like 3 sets, I think for like $5, real cheap. You got to be careful. They're real sharp. They're like little razors, okay? And so if you got something that's stuck to your surface like this does, and it's real thin, you can scrape this underneath like this and get it off. And generally, hopefully, I usually get it off pretty good. Sometimes a little bit of it sticks on the bottom, but you're not going to see the bottom of this, so that's kind of a nice thing too. then you just kind of lift it right off. And you can actually lift it off with your blade too if you want to. Okay, so I'm bringing it over here and I'm applying it onto this one. And I do have a little tear on that one too. I've got this rolled out pretty fine, guys. You can do it thicker if you want to, but like I said, that's one thing nice about working with polymer clay too. You can get it super, super like paper thin, whereas like air dry clay, I just did a tomato for a friend, a tomato in a bikini, believe it or not. And it's the first time I've ever worked with that particular clay, getting it that thin, because I made like bikini strings. And I was really impressed. It's DAS air dry clay, DAS, if anybody's interested. All right, so basically we've got this on here. Okay, now the reason I can actually, once I get all my elements on here, is okay. What picture profile pictures the same? Maybe things. Okay, you guys are talking about yourself. All right, so the reason I can actually bake this in the oven is because it's wood. Okay, now this really thin, I think this is balsa wood or it might be pine. It's super thin, and I have baked on these like this before. So I'm only going to bake it for a little bit because it's going to, it has a tendency to bow. You can actually get the bow out of it because I pressed down on it, but I'm just going to bake it enough to try to like for like 10 minutes to get these hard. And then I'll take these off and I'll be able to handle them and I'll bake them again and then I'll glue them on there. That's just my process, just so you know. All right, so we got this far. We've got all the little pieces on. Now I'm going to add some other little dudes on here too, and then I'm going to color them up. That's the whole thing. And then of course the clock's going to sit in the center like that. I think it's going to be kind of cool. I've been waiting, like I said, I'm sorry for my camera. It's usually not this close to my surface. And so it's acting up a little bit. And I don't know how to auto adjust the focus. I went into the settings and it just doesn't seem that I can do a manual focus on this thing. So it is what it is, right, guys? All right, so now that I've got that, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer this over to my little guy. I'm going to end up painting it in a second. But yeah, like I said, I need it. So this is a thing of necessity. I've actually made a clock for myself on one of my lives too. You can actually see I made a you take a bowl and you use another type of clay, a thicker clay, and let my camera up a little bit. And you can actually, I made a hanging lamp from a bowl, and it looks kind of like concrete. It's pretty cool. And I got it hanging right in my living room, and I use it. So clay is very, very functional. To me, it's one of the more functional items. And a lot of times, you know, crafters, you guys are looking around for this and that, and you go find a woodcut. I'm like, hey, I'll just pull out my clay stash and I'll make it out of clay. You know, I don't have to definitely go buy something. You can usually make. Somebody was looking for something the other day. I said, why didn't you just make that out of clay? You know how to do it. She's part of my group. Anyway, so, all right. So what I'm going to do now is elements. Okay, so here's what I want. I was thinking theme-wise, I wanted this to be sort of like steampunkish, but not, but I don't know, just a mix of this and that. But since it's a flower, I thought I would add some elements. These are your silicone molds. I get these Amazon on my link tree. I have all my things on my Amazon. I think I have Temu on my link tree too. But anyway, Temu and Amazon, they're great for these little molds. I've got quite a few of them. I can hand sculpt everything by hand, but it's so much faster to use these molds. So that's why I do them. Hey, Miss Andrina, how's it going, girl? It was nice hanging out with you a little bit last night. I usually don't do the nights, but it was good. It was good there watching you make your little Victorian gate. I like that little gate cover, not like a gate. I guess it was a window. It was like a window. Yeah, it was like a little window. Those are cool, by the way. I didn't know they had those at Dollar Tree. Yeah, it was fun. I was like hanging out with you, girl. I'm sorry I don't get to see you as much. Like I said, we're in different time zones and you go a little bit later. You're early for you, but later for me. And I'm always engaged with my husband or something, you know, by the end of the night. I don't get on too many nights with this one. I try to catch some replays late. By the way, this event, the Thoughts to Treasures is going on until I think Miss Connie, if I'm not mistaken, you are the last presenter. Am I wrong on that? I think she usually likes to be a night crafter. I'm a mid-afternoon. My brain's not functioning in the mornings, even though I'm a little bit of an insomniac. I don't think I could see myself doing too much late at night like that, because or early in the morning. So like I said, I'm a mid-afternoon. No, you did not put me to sleep. Well, you know, honestly, I was laying there on the bed and I dozed for a second, but it wasn't you. It's just because I was tired. I had a massage earlier in the day, which I sorely needed because I have like bad arthritis and a bad back. And I was like, that massage knocked me out, man. But it was really great. But like I said, I was just kind of chilling. And Robert was off doing something else. And I'm like, okay, I got a little bit of time here. So I'm going to pop on and catch you. All right. So at this point, you know, I'm just pressing the molds. If you guys have not seen how to do silicone molds yet, then like I said, here you go. Of course, some people use hot glue. Some people use, you know, the Would You Bend products. There's also resin you can put in these. Mine's clay. I use my clay. You can use air dry or you can use the polymer in these. And of course, these are little teeny guys. So this is a little bird one. And it's really fun, you know, when you take these off and you see how cool they are. It's like ooh and ah moment. So I actually was trying to look up some facts about time. I had one fact since I like to either do facts or jokes sometimes to kind of for the conversation's sake. And I looked up some facts about time and clocks, but they were kind of deep. They're kind of like, they're more on the physics level. And I was like, okay, I don't have time to like, number one, think about that in my brain, nor do I have time to kind of try to explain it to anybody. Maybe there's somebody here that's really deep and into physics, but yeah, not me. If somebody explained it to me a little bit more, I could probably get it. But so I came up with a couple little jokes, and I went on this site. This is the polymer clay, darling. This is it is Craft Smart brand, and it is from Michaels. And the reason I say explain that why I use this, you know, there's Sculpey. Sculpey's more expensive. Hobby Lobby carries their own brand too. If you catch either Hobby Lobby or Michaels, I just kind of got stuck on Michaels because they always have that 20% coupon off. This runs about $10.99 right there. You can get the 20% off, and I use the rewards. So therefore, rewards points, and I can end up getting these for like $8, and that's a really good deal for finding a whole pound brick of this. Okay, that's they call them bricks. That, like I said, they have the little 2 ounces in different colors, and you can actually color blend the clay. You can take 2 pieces of clay and color them, and it's like paint. Blend them together and make different colors if you want. I'm using all black on these because everything's going to be painted, and so that's why you're going to see everything black today. Sometimes if you've got excess on these things with the clay, if it's hanging over the edges, you can take your blade and just kind of go flat on the surface, and it takes all that extra off. I don't always do that. It just depends. It makes it real clean on the back. Generally, most people don't see them on the back. I do have one mold that I bought with bird mold that has 2 opposites, and I can put them together and make an entire 3-dimensional bird, which is cool. You usually don't get those with these as well. All right, so when I take my molds off, this is the way I do them. It's less distortion of your clay. How do you not cut the mold? You just got to be real careful, Victoria. You just literally lay it on there and you slice. These are pretty old. I mean, they're getting beat up, but yeah, you just lay it right on there. And you just go slice it really careful. You can see it better, you know, with your eye than you can. And you be careful. Hey, Lena, there's my tomato. How you doing, girly? So like I said, what I do is I do like this. And I normally some people put cornstarch in their molds, and you're more than welcome to do that. I don't find I really need it with the polymer clay. They come out so easy for me. And I've tried using corn. If it's super, super sticky, there is these little cheapy ones that I buy at the Dollar General that are like that. And you can see I've got it like a little bird. Get my camera to focus. I'm sorry. I guess I need to pull back a little bit. All right, little bird mold. All right, so yeah, I'm just doing like some little molds and adding some extra elements on here. And I don't even know where I'm going to place everything. I'm just kind of going with the flow here and figuring out what looks right. Actually, I'll probably put that one on the leaf right there because it's that. And I'm hoping that I get to the point where I can get these put on here, and then I can get them painted up. My husband's walking in and out a little bit, but that ain't no big deal neither. Okay, let's see. Huh? Oh, they're coming to pick up the truck. My husband managed to get a truck that somebody was giving away, and he likes to hustle and bustle, and he's going to scrap it. So he pulled it away from somebody and brought it here, and the guy didn't want it, so they're coming away and paying him. I'm like, hey, why not get some extra money off of a truck that you don't even own? That's a cool thing. Just hopped on for a minute, got to go to work. Okay, sounds good, Lena. Love you, darling. See you later. I love the clay too. Don't work with it enough to know. Well, sorry, Vicki, I'm going to give a little plug. Join my group for at least a couple months, $8 a month, and get in there and learn. I've got a class coming up at the end of this month. It's the last week of July. We always do, well, actually, it will be the first part of August is what it is. The first weekend. It's the first weekend each month. And then I have a lot of other projects and stuff in there. Lots of things to learn and do. Okay, so I got that one. Now, besides just adding a few of these clay molds, I wanted to, but I have a few more here that are really super cool, guys. Like these little Victorian ones. I use this one quite often. You can get, I have a rolling pin too, guys. It has like the little impressions in it, and I just roll it on there. It's pretty cool. There's a couple more. I believe, like I said, I love my little heart. I'm a heart freak. I actually don't create as much hearts as I'd like to, but I love the hearts and the keys. And I've got this really leaf one, this cool leaf one too, I'm going to use. But I did want to, before I start putting more things on here, I wanted to put a little bit more, kind of like add a little bit more of the stencil stuff on there too. What did I find? Here we go. And I've got some keys. I've got some actual, even though I can make one out of mold, I do have some little keys. I've done a few steampunk projects in the past, and this guy hired me from Etsy to do all these 15 steampunk, what do you call them, light switch covers. He had me custom made 15 steampunk light plate covers for his house, switch plate covers. His entire house was like steampunk. So anyway, that was pretty cool, but it took me a while. I had to do, like I said, 15 of them. So anyway, so I've got these two. You guys have probably seen these. These are those little stamps. You can use stamps, and you can use all sorts of things. Like I said, you can even decoupage with napkins on this clay, and I've done it. I've got a live that showed you how to do that. All right, so where was the one? There was a dragonfly. Where's my dragonfly? I'm going to throw that on there real quick. Let's see if I feel like I've just lost my head. I've got a lot. Oh, by the way, these are really cool. These are like, I have the guy that wanted me to do the custom work, those switch plates. He was into owls. And so I bought all these owls. Guys, I have a ton of these. If anybody wants any of these, I will sell them for you for like a couple bucks. But I have like a whole pile of them for a couple bucks. I got these off Amazon, and I have a whole thing of owls. Like, look how many owls I got. So if you guys are into owls, get with me, and I'll send you a baggie of these, or like 4 or 5 of them for like a couple bucks, because I don't know what I'm going to do with these, but they're pretty cool. So I was thinking about adding an owl on here, just kind of mixing it up with a few things. But I was looking for my dragonfly. Darn it, I wanted to use my dragonfly. This is kind of a cool stencil too, by the way. I don't even know what I'm going to use it for, but I just thought it was neat. I like using numbers and letters sometimes. And this one was a Temu. You guys can tell because they're thin. But keys, I know the keys are cool. Aren't they really cool? But like I said, I've been collecting a lot of different molds because of the clay stuff. But yeah, I like this one. I thought I would use it because it's got like sort of about time. I thought I would throw a little bit of this. I think I will go ahead and do that. I'm going to put it right here. I'm just going to go right over that one stencil. I'm just going to do January, February, whatever it comes out to be it with. Like I said, it's going to be like a little mixed media piece. So like I'm throwing elements together. And once I get it painted up, that's when it really comes cool. I got a little piece of stencil on there too. All right, get that off of there. I'm going to put a little something down on the bottom. A lot of times I don't always, even though I have an hour with this particular project, I don't always get them done. And I end up going back and finishing them up at the end because, I'll start thinking with my brain and add a little this and that to it. All right, I'm going to fix that a little bit there. Okay, how much time I got? I'm already at 30 minutes. All right, let me go ahead and do some more molds. And I want to add a key. I'm going to add a little, like I said, I'm just kind of throwing things on here. I just dropped that one. Add a key on there. Here's the deal. I'll put this over here so we can see it now a little bit better. When you're adding these elements onto the clay, there's actually 2 ways to do it. You could press it into your clay and bake it that way, or you can wait till it's baked and then glue it on with some, your E6000 or whatever. There also is a Sculpey clay glue, which I didn't bring here in my shop, in my house. It's in my shop, but you can actually put a little bit of that back on there and stick it on there and bake it, and it will be fine. Okay, so this one, I think I'm gonna put this one over here. It just feels like it needs to go right there. And I think I'm gonna do me a heart right now. I just love hearts. I love hearts because I love love. Now, one thing I'm trying to remember is that my clock is silver. I purposely did that because I'm a kind of a gray wall person, even though I love warm colors in my home. I don't know, lately gray is kind of like the new tan or something. I don't know. Last few years I've had gray walls in my home. And so that's what I'm going with. I'm going with the tones and more of that. But also on my walls, I've got some orange. I've got, you know, the aquas and your muted tones and all that, and your browns. But, you know, my basics are the gray walls, and I go from there. Who have I been missing here in the comments? Crafting Unit is so kind. Hi, Beverly, Morgan. Da, 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 da. Let's see if I'm missing any comments, guys. I'll go back here. I'm looking at my phone and my laptop both. Oh, let me tell you a joke. I know you guys are chatting amongst yourself, but I looked up this thing. I was trying to find some jokes about time. Most of them were like crazy, ridiculously corny. But I did find two that actually kind of like, you know, they're more like a riddle or whatever. But here's the first one. You guys ready? So you can figure this out. Okay. How do you know when your clock is starving? Come on, give me some comments. How do you know when your clock is starving? I don't know if I'm going to put, yeah, I'll put the little lock on there. How do you know when your clock is starving, guys? I see that you're kneading the clay. Is this something that you need to do? Yeah, in a second. Yeah, I'll show you that in a second. Let me get this piece put in and I'll explain that. Basically, why I'm doing that is because, you know, I'm just kind of working it a little bit. It's already kind of kneaded. This is part of the, when you first get it off this block, you know, it can be, you got to work it. It's called conditioning. And I actually have a video, by the way, I have a video course that explains all this. It's a set of 10 videos. It walks you through the beginning, what you need, baking and all that sort of thing. And if you're ever interested in that, it's $12 and I send it to you on Amazon, through YouTube. Anyway, but besides that, the reason you do that is just because, you know, you kind of get it softened up and get it to where you can work it. It's already soft, but maybe it's just a habit too of getting it, just working with it. It feels good in your hands. It does. Clay's kind of a nice medium to work with. It's very therapeutic. This one's a little bit over the edge, so I'm going to slice a little bit of that up. You got to make sure you get the right side with these too, because you'd be holding on to the wrong side. They do make these blades that have like little handles on the side. And I thought about getting them, but I'm so used to using these. Only time I've cut myself with these blades is one time when I was cleaning it, believe it or not. I was cleaning it with a baby wipe, and I wasn't looking, you know, I wasn't paying attention enough, and I ran my hand across the top of the blade. But other than that, I'm pretty careful with it. I don't really break too much. This heart one's really cool, guys. I love the heart one. And I've used this heart one in a lot of things, on some of my glasses and different things like that. You see the little heart guy. It's pretty. I've actually made lockets on these. There's a gal on here, Terry's Crafty Friends. She's kind of a new crafter, but she's one of the first lives that she was on with me a while back. I was doing a giveaway with these, and I made a bunch of these little lockets and for like necklaces. And I actually had a giveaway. I give away to some certain people, so I did a little giveaway on that. So that one's that one. All right. Also, too, let me throw one of these in here. Like I said, whatever I don't get done, but I do want to paint. So I'm going to go ahead and paint before, even if I don't finish all this, because I can always add my elements on top and paint again. Because I want to see what happens. I want to show you what happens when you actually start painting this. Okay. I keep forgetting. Let me bring it over here. I don't need to have that surface there to work off of. All right. Like I said, my surface is pretty small. What I'm going to do here is, you can get these little guys, these little fondant cutters. If cookie cutters work great, anything like that. But I got a little set of these little flowers, which I also love. I use them often. They come in a set, and I got a little punch-in thing in here. So I'm going to punch a couple of those out because I'm a big flower person. I love flowers. So I'm going to add a couple florals on here. And what I'm thinking about doing is, yeah, this is all black right now and beside here. And these are not even. I ain't going to worry about it because I think I'm going to add some flowers in the center of these pieces here and then kind of fill in that little area. I wasn't quite sure. That's why I left a little space. But I think that's what I'm going to do with that. Looks fun. It is fun, honestly. Like I said, I have crafted, you know, a lot of the things that you ladies do. I absolutely love myself. The only thing I think that I haven't really done is wreath making. I don't work with florals too much. I mean, I could throw some sort of floral design, but I wouldn't call myself really good at it. But I haven't really done wreaths per se, and I'm not much of a bow maker, although I could probably figure it out if I had to. But other than that, I mean, like I said, I've taught kiddos and seniors for years on crafting and all sorts of things. So I've tried a little bit of everything, you know, more on the art realm and in the crafting world. So yeah, I'm not afraid to go for it. But when I started working with clay, I've done clay years and years ago, and then I just kind of got away from it. And then a couple of years ago, I don't know, I just started milling around on Pinterest, and I started looking at all these really cool things. I started thinking, you know what? I really kind of miss clay. And I've always loved three-dimensional items. So that's when I started working with clay again. So these, you just, you put it down there and you just punch it out. And I'm telling you, to me, I have found it to be one of the most versatile items because, number one, like I said, you can make, clay pieces all on your own with everything. Or, like I said, it's great because you can add it to an addition of whatever you do. If you do tags or, whatever it is, you can, like I said, you can just really use your imagination and go crazy. So with these little guys, they're kind of flat. So what I like to do is I like to turn them up. I like to manipulate them and play with them and kind of get it. Then I put a little center in there because it doesn't look like a real flower unless it's got a center. Or you could take the back. I didn't bring my, you can get a toothpick or whatever, even a pen. You can take a pen and just punch little holes in it like that and kind of give it some design or whatever, or I like to put a little center in there like that. If you got pieces, like I said, that are, because it looks more dimensional, more raised up. I'll show you this. Okay, so you got like a little flower, okay? So these were really great for that kind of thing. And I'll put this one on the flower one. I'll add more flowers on here. Like I said, I'm not going to have time to add all the elements that I want to add, but I am going to try to get as much as on here. And maybe like the last 5 minutes or so, I might paint it up. Not last 5 to 10 minutes, because the 5 minutes, I got to stop and do our little giveaway tool on top of that. Okay, so let me see. So anybody guess my joke? I forgot. Let me go back and look. I don't think anybody even tried. Guess what? I'm gonna ask it again now. How do you know when your clock is starving? Anybody want to give it a try? It's actually pretty funny, but it's it's one of those corny, funny jokes. How do you know when your clock is starving? I'm gonna move that bird over. I like him a little bit more off the center there. He looks better there. Okay, yeah. How do you know when your clock is starving, guys? Come on, somebody, pop up, tell me. Where's my little guy? I'm going to put these little flower guys on here too. Nobody's going to tell me? All right, I'm going to tell you then. Time to 8. That is really good, Lisa. Oh my God, what a nice try. That is really great. Actually, that would work. It is a number reference in a sense. But yeah, I like that. I think that could work. Time to 8. Okay, actually, the answer they gave, which is really funny, it goes back 4 seconds. Okay, it goes back the number 4 seconds, as in goes back for seconds. And I thought that was so cute. It actually made me laugh. You guys get it? Goes back for seconds. This one you can just do like that. Oh, it just flew across the room. Never mind. Do another one. Okay. You need to have a hard surface when you do these little punches. Sometimes they do get caught up in there and you can just punch them right out. Goes back for seconds, guys. What do you think about that one? Pretty cute. All right, so I got a lot of these little teeny ones. I love the little teeny ones. They're really fun to add on here and just add a little whatever, Okay. Happy crafting, sir. Hello, how are you? Good to see you, Kathy. Good to have you here. All right, so I'm just doing some more little punches here on these guys. And then, like I said, I'm probably going to start painting them up pretty soon after I get a few more elements on here. Knowing me, I'll probably go back and zhuzh it up a little bit more. Hey, Kathy, how's it going? You having a good day, Kathy? I'm going to add like 3 on here, and then I'm going to go to the next section and see what else I want to add on there. This one actually is supposed to put like a little hole punch in there, but I guess if you don't push it down enough, it's not going to do that. Okay. All right, I think I put that like right in the center and do that like that. Okay, that, and what else can I add on here, guys? I kind of wanted to put this, I got the heart. I think I'm going to do one of these. Oh, you know what I got too that's really cool? These are actually like the steampunk gears. I bought the actual like metal steampunk gears, but you can make your own out of the clay and you can just color a metal color. They're pretty cool. Like I said, all that, all of my Amazon stuff that I get is in my link tree. You guys go to my page and see, and just click on my Amazon and see all the goodies that I buy. isn't it fun? I mean, there's just so much. There's so many things. I wish I could find my darn butterfly. These little stampy things that you get from Dollar Tree. These are kind of cool too. Words, and I like to put words and letters and numbers and all that happy jazz. I am going to use acrylic paint when I paint these, and I'm going to do a sponge dauber on them in a second here. Like I said, which one do I want to use? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. One that's not going to be too hard. Okay. Okay, I do have another joke. Well, it's kind of a joke. Well, I can make it into a joke. I can make it into a riddle. I guess they're not jokes. Actually, this is too much clay. I'll take that off. These are really fine. These are real thin because they're gears. They're not supposed to be real thick. It would be nice if I had some cornstarch because it's mildly sticky on my hands, but it's not. If I'm in my shop is like crazy hot. It's harder to do it. I have to use cornstarch all the time. But this one, it's not too bad. It's just kind of like, because it's so thin. Okay, I got another joke. They are, actually, I think these as well, but a lot of silicone molds, you can bake in the oven. Because these are used for fondant, and I think sometimes people actually bake with these silicone molds. I'd have to check if these particular ones are bakeable, because sometimes I do buy ones that are people that do fondant work and that type of stuff. Look at that cool gear, guys. Isn't that neat? Okay. And you can literally just, if you have a lot of pieces that you want to do, you can leave them in your mold and bake it in the polymer clay and then just pull them out. Cool, huh? Look at that. All right. So this one I think I'm going to put on this guy here, this little funky pattern. I don't know what that pattern is. It's kind of like a checkerboard. It's not really brick. I don't know. It's just kind of a square pattern. I'm telling you, Timu's got some pretty cool little, little inexpensive molds to play with. They really do. Put another gear. I'm going to pick another one off of this one and put that on there. I like this big funky one over here. And like I said, in a minute, I'll start doing some Zhuzhen painting. Hopefully that key will stay in. I think I'll throw an owl in there too somewhere, guys. Like I said, don't forget, after me is Miss Andrena, Lexi Creations. I know she's on here. I saw her come up in a minute. She's still hanging out. I'm sure she is. You guys will love her. She always does amazing stuff. She's such a sweetheart. She's got such a wonderful personality. And Andrena, I love the fact that you pray for people. I think that that's awesome. I don't have a problem doing that either if anybody ever needs anything like that. I'm a big believer in Jesus. All right, my hands are sticky, guys. They're getting kind of sticky, but I'm just going to have to endure because I'm not going to walk up and go into my cabinet and grab my cornstarch. I usually have a little container of it sitting right next to me. That one's not. I might have to do something different because that one's too. I'll use this one here. These are thin. Like I said, they are thin. Hey, Sunshine, how are you? How you doing, darling? Sunshine Designs. That's a cool name. All right. The reason I'm having problems with these is because my fingers are a little sticky. I might have to go get my cornstarch, guys. You know what you can use in a pinch too is water. Actually, I got some water right here. Water will work too. It'll kind of keep it from being so sticky. There we go. I think that's going to help. Cornstarch is the best, though. Yes, she is, and she is very talented. We all know that. She's awesome. She's a good girl. Love her. All right. That one is, I don't know, that one's just giving me difficulty. I don't like that one. All right. So much for that idea. I'm going to switch over and I'm going to use one of these instead. I think I'm going to go ahead. I like this little medallion here too. I just did a sea turtle recently. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I used that on the back and it looks like a little pearl. It's real pretty. So I think I'll use that in there because I need something nice and big on this end too, like a big chunky piece. And then from there, I think I might just go ahead and start painting a little bit because I'll add other elements on here and I can repaint it. But for now, I did want to get this painted up. All right, one more guy right here. Your name is Sherry. Well, hi, Sherry. I've seen you in the comments, and I actually think I've caught one of your replays. I know a lot of you ladies. This is my first time in this group. I've been in some other groups, but it's my first time here with Miss Connie, and I appreciate being here. And but like I said, I know you guys are just not really familiar with me. So, but I do follow you, all of you guys already. People don't realize that, but I do. Okay. Back into this. I'm actually listening to music in my ear, guys. I have an earbud in that's my little speaker guy, my little Bluetooth speaker, and I can play my Spotify while I'm hanging out with you guys, which is kind of nice. I love having the music on. And the fact of we can't have music from Facebook, I don't know. When I craft, I like to. Anybody else like to have music when they craft or when they're doing creative stuff? I do. I don't know. Music really just kind of helps, depending on what mood you're in too, of course. All right, and I need one leaf. Okay, I'm gonna take the time to do one leaf, and then I'll stop with the little guys on top, and I'll start working on doing some painting on these things. Because I know, like I said, I'll add some more on here. But that one's pretty cool, huh? And you can paint this. It's kind of like a little blingy medallion sort of thing, I guess, whatever you want to call it. But these leaves come out really nicely. I really like the leaves. They do well. I know, FB is so weird about that. But I have this thing. I'm like, okay, everybody's always talking about you can't play music. Well, how are people able to post things on Facebook when there's music in the background, or if it's a live band playing at a wedding per se, and they got music going? How does that work? Now, how are they allowed to do that, and then the normal person's not allowed to do that? I don't quite get that one. Anybody explain that to me? Are they just taking their chances? I mean, I don't know. I've come from a musical family. My parents were both musicians, and one of my exes was a musician. So, and I've been in entertainment industry as stagehand. So I've been around entertainment and music all my life. I don't play an instrument and I don't sing. That's why I guess I do this part. But I love music, and I remember my dad. There is a certain thing about ASCAP and legalizations. I mean, the legal end of the music industry. Where do I want to put this leaf? Like I said, I'm just playing, guys. I'm just throwing things here and there because I'm not really thinking about it because I'm talking too much to you guys. But anyway, yeah, so I don't really understand the whole music concept thing, is why we can't have music. That's kind of bugs the crap out of me. Because if I have a class, like in-person class, I'll put some music on. Trust me, you got music going with me. All right, because I think it just helps set the mood. All right, I said I was going to stop at that one. I've got 10 minutes. I've got 5 minutes to paint after I get this one out. Then it'll be my 5-minute mark, and we're going to do that giveaway tool, guys. So hang tight. I'm going to give you a hashtag word here in about 5 minutes or so. And you're going to put that in the comments, and then we're going to run, hopefully, my giveaway tool. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Here I went and set up, and it took me an hour and a half probably to get everything set up in my home to do this, and it did not rain. I'm sitting there looking at the clouds. And like I said, if you caught my mother lives when it was raining, it was so horrible. And here I am sitting in this nice little tiny spot. It's nice and cool in my house, but still, it didn't rain. I figured it would do that, but better safe than sorry, because I was so annoyed the last couple of times it happened. I think on the reels, they always have the names of the song and artist. Oh, yeah, well, maybe. That's true. You mean down at the bottom? Yeah, I understand that in the comments. Yeah, well, we can do that too. By the way, you're listening to, such and such. Oh, that one looks kind of like a pot leaf. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to put this one over here. Just do that. And then we're going to call it good. Okay, I'm going to start painting a little bit just because we need to do that. I wanted you to see that. I wanted you to see it all black like this, because the paint really makes a difference when I start doing that on there. Okay, so let's throw some color on this puppy dog. And then we will go from there. We'll do our giveaway tool. Now, colors. Ugh, I had the toughest time. I love colors of all sorts, and I really didn't know what to do with this. So I might end up messing this up with colors, but hope not. I'm going to start with a little gray. I'm going to do a combination of colors, what I'm trying to say, and see how it goes. And I'll end up having to play with it a little bit. A person, if they didn't want a color, thing that you can do for metallics is that you can do your mica powders. And I've done some mica powders, which are like clear. By the way, I'm going to show you real quick in case we don't get to that part before we have to stop. Anyway, I guess it doesn't really matter right now, but you can put that little clock down in there, and you see how that's going to be. You got the little clock, and you can do this if you don't want to do clay, you can do decoupage like this. You could do some, your napkins and add some other elements or anything, but make you like a fun little clock. Oh, I was going to show you how to cut out the circle. People might be thinking about that. this. A drill and a hole cutter. You guys ever seen these? It's a huge hose cutter. You put it on the end of your drill and you go, you just drill a hole in there. Okay. And so that's how that hole was created. Believe it or not, they come in lots of sizes. So it makes it a nice clean hole. All right, now color paint wise. And Connie's got a little post in here. If you're not joining the Thoughts to Treasures Crafty Friends group, yeah, please read that and join her group. Her group is pretty cool. I love the fact that she allows an hour to for people to craft, and it's always crafter's choice, which is really nice too. I like themes, but crafter's choice is really great because we basically get to do what we want to do. All right, so I'm gonna try these color combinations, and hopefully I don't get too goofy with them. All right, so I'm using a little sponge dauber here, guys. All right, and then we'll start with the gray. I'm gonna do a little bit of gray, and we're just gonna do some pouncing on here. Let's see how much I need. The colors, I might just end up mixing them up a little bit. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. What I've got going on here is I'm trying this. It's kind of like a clay color, a gray color, and then I want them in sort of like earth tones, and then the warm beige. And I'm just sort of like, you know, color combination in the three of them. See how it looks. Hopefully it'll turn out pretty cool. I want a little bit of that black to show through. That's why I wanted to use the black, because it just makes such a really strong impact back there. And I might even go through and distress it afterwards. All right, so yeah, a little of that. And I want a little touch of that clay color on there too. Okay, I think I'm going to do good. I think I got good color choices. We'll see. All right, so let's go to the next one. Basically, I'm doing them all the same. But see, once you put the color on, that's when you can really start seeing everything come out. Looks pretty. And the little sides there, I'll end up putting something on the sides. I'm not worried about the fact I'm getting paint over there. I'm going to add a little extra something on the sides there too. Add a little bit of that in there. Like I said, don't fret. I do have my timer. Oh, there's my 5 minutes. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. There's my 5 minutes. Stop. Okay, guys, we're at the 5-minute mark. And so for the 5-minute mark, what I need you guys to do, last 5 minutes, and by the way, you're going to go watch Adrena after me. You just refresh your page and then stay in the Thoughts of Treasures group. Okay, there we go. See, isn't it cool? I mean, once you get those colors on there, all these little details start coming out so pretty. They're hard to see until you start adding the color. Okay, so like I said, let's go ahead and put in whoever's staying on. You guys, this is your opportunity to get your $5 gift certificate. Lisa Harney, if you don't mind staying out of this one, I know you won last time. Give somebody else a chance. Everybody that's already won this month, just hang tight and let's give somebody else a chance. Okay, your hashtag word is clock. Hashtag clock. Go ahead and put that word in the comments right now, and then I'm going to run that tool here in a second. And I'm going to take my screen up. I'm just trying to get as much time to this as I can. And of course, I'll go back and play with it and zhuzh it and all that happy jazz. Isn't that pretty though? Isn't that so cool, guys? Honestly, I mean, Ito. And I'm going to add some more elements on here. I'm not done with adding my little pieces. I just didn't have enough time. Just didn't have enough time. I need to add more gray on that one. Hashtag clock, guys. Come on. Hashtag clock. A couple of you guys on there, you already know me. You've already been winners. So you know what I do. Hashtag clock. How many more minutes I got? I got 4 minutes. I'm going to do this last one, and then I'm going to turn my screen up, and then we're going to run that tool. What do you guys think? Did you learn a little something about polymer clay today? Working with clay? Did I inspire you at all to want to try something? All right. Like I said, I'm going to add extra colors to that and make it zhuzhy. But I'm going to put the clock in the center so you got a general idea. I don't even know where I'm going to be right here. Okay. So they set something like that. It's still wet. Like I said, I'm going to end up baking it all. You know, obviously I won't have the clock in there, but you guys get an idea of that. Okay. And I'll finish up the centers and put some little flowers and stuff in there in the center. All right. Actually, I'll just leave it like that for a minute, let it dry. Let's go ahead and do that hashtag clay. Hashtag clock. Turn my screen up here. Settings, camera, action. Hey guys. All right, here I am. Now let's go ahead and get that giveaway tool. If the giveaway tool just glitches out and doesn't work, I'll pick someone from from the comments. I'll pick the 4th person that commented on my screen. But hopefully we'll be able to see it. You guys can see that. Share on the screen. There we go. Okay, now let's go ahead and run it. Everybody got their hashtag word in? Here we go. Start collecting comments and draw. Where's my pen? Who we got? Who we got? Who's the winner wearing chicken dinner? Oh my God, Connie. Connie. Okay. Well, Connie, hey, you got it, girlfriend. You got it. All right. That's good. You got me on here first time, and look at that. You got your $5 Amazon gift card. Was that bribery, or was that planned, or what? All right, guys. Let's see. What do I got for time here? I've got 2 minutes. I got 2 minutes. Good. I'm gonna go back to painting. So I think I had another joke. Did I tell you guys the other joke? What was the other joke? How do you know when you're practicing? Oh yeah, I have one last joke, guys. Okay. A thief walks into a clock store and yelled. What does he yell? A thief walks into a clock store and he yells. Second, 1 minute. He walked into a clock store. Hands up. All right, guys, that's it for me. I hope you guys liked it. I'll definitely post it once I get it done. And you guys go enjoy the rest of the crafters. Rest of your day. Go see Andrena. You'll love her. Please, obviously, if you're not following her, you definitely want to. So I love you, and I'll see you guys next week. I think I'm at another event next week. Hope you join my page, and you'll know all about that. Yeah, let me see. I don't like to go off early at all. I got to right on the clock, so I'm at 3:59. I'm going to wait those few extra seconds because I don't want to mess anybody up, and it's kind of like a rule of the road here. But anyway, yeah, like I said, go see him. And anybody wants information about my clay group, absolutely get with me on that. $8 a month. And we do a lot of fun things in there. And we all go live together, and you can see us. We can see by faces. It's not just, there we go, 4 o'clock. Got to run. See you guys later. Bye-bye.